refresh for some reason. You're live. Your event is starting. Right, you're streaming.
Right then, hoping everything is ready. Okay then, hello. Hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear us. Welcome along to round 16 of the 2014 UltraNet Supercup season. We're here at Suzuka in Japan. Unconventional means to try and get to you today. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a problem setting up the broadcast with plenty of internet problems galore. We won't have a overlay for you today, so we're going to try to keep you up to date as best we can. We're going to make do is what we're trying to tell you, and this is the penultimate round of the season. You do not want to miss it, even for your Great British Bake Off. My name is James Kirk, and alongside me once again, providing us with cameras today as well, to add to his wonderful CV as it is already, is Mr. Sam Jones. And hey Sam, the story has been Waters Automotive, a 1-2 on the grid, with the Jarl Tyen taking his third pole position in as many rounds. A load of lovely messages in support for Jules Bianchi after his horrible freak accident here the Sunday gone by, and with 2 races, one of 31 laps in length, one of 18 laps in length, we're certainly hoping to have some wonderful racing to make sure that support does not go unnoticed. Yeah. It's 5.8 kilometers of glorious tarmac is this Suzuka circuit, and I yearn for more of the circuits like this. I don't know whether you've seen the blueprints for what will be the Baku European Grand Prix in 2016. I mean, it looks like a mess, but then you look at this. I mean, it at its heart, it's a simple figure of 8 circuit, yet it's so much more. There's fast twisting corners, there's hairpins, there's great overtaking zones, there's a nice long straight, and at the end of that long straight is a sweeping right-hander, the magnificent turns 1 and 2, which has caught so many drivers out, and it's also led to some of the best overtakes we've seen in Formula 1, and Lewis Hamilton on Nico Rosberg just this Sunday gone by springs to mind instantly. So hopefully we're going to have some great racing out on track. And as I say, going back to this earlier point of the big story, Waters Automotive, it's almost been like a rise of a phoenix. Waters was stuck and buried at the bottom of the team's championship table. Then all of a sudden, Jarl Tyen's come in, scored loads of points, pole positions. David Frančić has come in, and well, today they bring up from Formula Challenge with them the impenetrable, at least in Formula Challenge, Peter Verlak. What a driver he is, and to instantly get P2 on such a competitive grid. Mind you, Filip Puška once again did not qualify, but an incredible effort from the Croat to be able to get so close to the established driver Tyen. I was definitely keeping an eye on that one. I was managing my drivers through race 2 of Formula Challenge, and he just seemed to get stuck down. And it was actually his teammate, Peter Drivela, who managed to take not only the fastest lap, but get a higher position from it as well. So, will be interesting to see how Berlak reacts to Supercup. Of course, our reverse grid is much, much smaller to the reverse grid we see in Formula Challenge, so perhaps that may very well benefit the Croatian as we now head through. Okay, we were heading through to the thingy, but my thing has crashed, which is excellent. So I will get back in as soon as possible. I'm afraid you're going to have to look at who's using what tyres, Sam. But before we head off on the formation, now just to give you a quick look through the top 3 from each championship. Pushka now leads the Drivers' Championship on 4.25. Remember, he's starting at the back of the grid after not qualifying once again. Sven de Vries, now he won't win the championship for sure. He's on 424 points. And Jason Muscat is in 3rd on 378. Then we have Adonis Engineering on 702 in the Teams Championship. Simcraft on 643. And PB Racing on 564. In the Teams Championship. And Sam, I don't believe our audience can hear you talking, so you might want to sort that out. I don't think so. Do give us feedback, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, this is very much a broadcast which we have scrabbled together from every single possible means we can, so you at least have pictures. If it needs to go solo, then so be it, but Sam, you can possibly try and get on that, as I believe we should be on our formation up anyway. As I say, I can't see the cars since I'm just loading in. It's all going wrong, isn't it? It wouldn't be a GPVWC season without one mishap. Anyway, right, I am back in now, and we have Jarl Tyen, who's currently rounding the hairpin, who leads us off from pole position. His teammate for today, Peter Verlack, second with Kevin Siggy behind, P3 for Positive Sim Racing. Florian Gaia starts P4 for Simcraft, with Ascari Kantonen a much improved position for Kantonen, running a special Forza Joule helmet for today in, I believe, Brazil. P5 for Satellite with Emmanuel Gagzella, P6 for Storm. Tom Parker, P7 for Simcraft, who took, of course, to that wonderful win in Abu Dhabi last time out. Fran Lopez starts P8 with Dowie Tapper P9 for Street Fighter, and Reese Brackham rounds out the top 10 for PB. Santiago Niza starts P11 for Street Fighter, with Roy Verzel starting P12 for Fox. Sandy Choda, Super Cup for Malta Force GP. He starts P13 ahead of Menno Klond, who has been so desperate in finding a driver for his Dose Engineering outfit. He's gone there himself. He crashed out to qualify, no, similar to Fran Lopez, and he's now languishing down in 14th. Harry Neiman starts P15 for Mazurek, with David Francic filling in for Menno Klond at Malta Force P16. Scott Beresford starts P17 for the 6th Axis, with Pavel Oknowski P18 for FA. Adrian McNaughton starts P19 for Storm Racing, with Jason Muscat P20 for Adonis. Miko Yakin starts P21 for Scuderia Basili, with Ben Horrell avoiding him very nearly there. P22 for Centurion. Yanni Vananen starts P23 for FA, with Ollie Pelkinen starting P24 for Centurion. Yuri Oziano starts P25 for Scuderia Basili, with Christoph Lichtenstein P26 for Fox. Jonathan Otterclinth starts P27 for Satellite, and rounding out the grid is Dimitri Demurmeister filling in for Mike Bell, who's been banned from this event. He's P28 for Zurich. Sorry, I'm wrong. Philip Pushka is last on the grid, of course, with PB Racing after failing to qualify. Sam, do a speaking test. Hopefully we'll be able to hear you.
Hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. Someone's going to tell me if they can, so hopefully I'll fix that, and I'll let you take the start.
Right, here we go. We've got 3, 4, 5 lights here at the Sector 1 now. It's Tom Parker. What a start the Englishman has had. Kevin Siggy had a similarly good start. Yeah, Tyen just bogged down massively. He came across Canton, and Canton, who's now down in P10, now battling with Jarl Tyen, actually getting around the outside of Tyen as well. So Tyen, an awful start. Gaia third, so Simcraft, what a good day this is for them so far, as it's bunching up into the hairpin. Verlack down to 4th, Gagzella 5th, Lopez up to 6th, Rakan 7th, Muscat up to 8th. What a great start on him. Frances 9th, and Tyen now rounds up the top 10 after re-overtaking Canton. What an opening, few corners of madness there. I think it all started off from Tyen's bad start. But I noticed Fran Lopez going a little bit deep into turn 1, and that could have been what caused Tyen to further fall down the order.
Yeah, look at this. I think we've got a battle for the lead now. I've been told that people can hear me, so that's good to know. And yeah, oh, someone's gone wide.
Kevin, come back! Oh my word, Kevin Siggy, he went he went off in P2, he comes back in P5. In fact, here comes his teammate, Fatan Lopez, now overtaking the Austrian, so an early mistake from him, seeing him all the way down in P5, so now it's a Simcraft 1-2. Parker and Gaia now have to defend off the mighty Petter Burlack. Into turn 1 we go, Gaia defends nicely, and it seems like it's going to be an interesting day for Simcraft. Tom Parker, oh, what's happened to Parker? Interesting, Parker, we saw this in Abu Dhabi, didn't we? We saw Gaia almost letting Parker through on that alternative strategy, starting on the primes, and then going on to the options, ultimately proving the race-winning strategy of all things. But Parker, very dangerous to let his teammate Gaia through there, but obviously feeling he can play rear gunner better than race leader, and now he's got a right Gaglickis. Look at this, Burlack, Lopez, Siggy, Gaxella, and Muscat all the way down, really. So Ascari Canton in 11, all in his rear-view mirrors. Lopez dives at the inside of Burlack. Can't do anything there, though, and the Croatian holds on for now.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to have to let everyone know who's who, because I don't know who they are. But yeah, that's a great start again by Parker to get up to the lead, and he's really come on strong at the end of the season here, and even beating the likes of his teammate and of course Burlack at the moment. And the Positive Sim Racing cars are having a much better race, well, at least start the race today, so let's hope they can keep it clean and see what they can do, as it looks like one of them is going to challenge Burlack for his third maybe.
Yeah, it's Lopez, and he's looking down the inside of 130R, and they're almost going 3 wide into the casino, trying right onto the back of P3 man Tom Parker.
Yeah, that was a good move by Burlack. I think he's just found his feet after the first couple of laps, probably just felt a bit edgy, a bit of pre-race nerves, of course. At your first race in Supercup, it's always going to be quite a scary moment, and he's certainly started to pick up the pace. Now as Gaia is looking very, very loose, and he's run a bit wide, and someone's off.
That's Bracan off. The Degners are tricky corners, and I'm surprised that Bracan was able to keep it out of the wall, to be honest. That's where Clonk went off in qualifying, and Bracan all the way down now in, oh, is he pulling off potentially? I think he is, yeah, so Bracan becomes only our second retirement out of this race, sorry. Sandeep Choda also out of this race, but a really nasty way to go is, oh, Gaia goes wide! Oh, Gaia's taken Spoon horribly wrong, and Petter Burlack takes the lead of the race. Gaia comes back on, but look at Parker behind. The two Positive boys are absolutely hounding him, and it's a manic start here at Suzuka. I cannot tell who's going to win, but I tell you one thing, Kirk will be glad he's only got fresh air ahead of him as Lopez holding on for dear life around the outside of 130. Oh, dearie me, Lopez, that was clumsy, and Parker rather unfairly knocked down to P5 now. Here comes Gaxella and Muscat, the action never ends. Gaxella on the inside, and here comes Muscat! Muscat with a great exit off of the casino triangle, and he's almost boxed in there as he headed to turn, but here comes Frančić up the inside! And he has to really back out. Lucky boy not to hit anyone. Canton on the back of this as well. Jarl Tyen clearly suffering some form of damage. He's not holding any sort of candle to the guys ahead, as I see Jason Muscat's gone past Emmanuel Gaxella in the S-curves now. But well, Petter Burlack, in that short amount of time that he has been in the lead, has already extended a 2-second gap. The Croatian is unstoppable no matter what car you put him in.
This is truly, well, a sound of his dominance. This is what he can truly do. And it's really scary now looking towards next season if Burlack's going to be in a series like this, because you just think he's going to walk it. But who knows about Pushka? Well, I don't know where he is, but he should be coming through the field as well, so we'll see what he can do, as the battle up front is still raging away in terms of, I think that's Muscat having to defend quite heavily into Spoon at the moment.
Yeah, and just on off Emmanuel Gaxella, for the Pushka update, he's in P14 currently, and a little bit behind Pavlovsky, but to just tell you, to show how close this field is, Pushka's all the way down in P14. He is still less than 10 seconds off the field. As we have battling going into the casino triangle, sorry, Canton was overtaking David Frančić, but a shoddy exit. Oh, goodness me, and through comes Jarl Tyen for sure. Those three battling away like madmen, and oh, they're not going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, God, here he goes. Oh, Canton on the grass. Be careful, Ascari, goodness me, and David Frančić just about holding off everyone. Jarl Tyen, though, up into 9th. He seems to have found a bit more pace, and yeah, really evidently onto the back of Francic now. His teammate, once upon a time at Waters, now at the Multiforce outfit. I think for only this one race, to be honest, and then Francic is back in the Waters car for Brazil. But Tyen trying desperately to find his way back up through the field, and here he goes now on the inside of Francic, which will be the outside. Degner 1 as Emmanuel Gaxella gets around the outside of Muscat, and as does Tyen, as Cantonen, oh my word, and there's Verso off in the Degner 2 there as well. The Degner's proving really tricky for all the drives here today, and well, it's still Manicas up at the front. Didn't even notice this. Right, Fran Lopez up into P3, Tom Parker up into P4 now. He's gotten back past Kevin City. I don't know where to look, Sam. It's a terrible time for my voice to go as well.
I don't know where to look either, and my buttons are going crazy because I'm having to cycle through all the drivers to try and find where we should be looking. But yeah, the top 3 seem to have broken away now, so Lopez is doing a pretty good job compared to his teammate Siggy, who's fallen now back into 5th position. So yeah, it's quite close up front between some of the more major teams, as it also looked a little bit leery coming out of the final chicane as he comes down the straight. But yeah, they've spread out a little bit now, so maybe everyone's just going to calm down a little bit.
We've seen one Fox Racing guy into the barriers already. Thankfully he survived. His teammate did not though. Christoph Lichtenstein, the 3rd retirement from the Super Cup Suzuka Grand Prix. As we have a look at the gap between the front 2 now, 2.4 seconds. So Berg hasn't exactly been able to fully stretch his legs per se. He's not exactly pulling away at the massive rate which he was in those early laps in the lead for him. Gaia 2nd seems to me at least to have Fran Lopez now re-catching him. So I wonder whether Lopez is the secret dark horse for this race. I mean, of course, we need to keep in mind here, he did hit our Tyen off at turn 1. At least that's what I saw. He's definitely a positive car, and I would say Tyen has cause to definitely complain about that. It's going to be on for the stewards to look to for sure. But right now, I don't think that's going to be on Lopez's mind. I think all Lopez is going to be looking at is Guy is ahead. He's in 2nd. If I overtake him, I could have a genuine chance of winning this race.
Yeah, that's the thing. Although, of course, you have to catch the big man himself, Peter Burlack, which isn't going to be easy. Just looking now, Muscat's in a big battle at the moment with 2 other drivers right beside him going into the chicane. Muscat's going around the outside on entry and made it stick as well.
That's a lovely move from Muscat on Emmanuel Gaxella there, and right there in the background, well, I thought he'd suffered damage of some sort. Evidently not. Jarl Tyen is back on the move, and here he comes romping up to the back of Emmanuel Gaxella. Is he going to have a go into turn 1? No, he's not, but Gaxella's going to try the comeback in turn 1. Oh, and that's all gone wrong for Gaxella, unfortunately. It was a brave and bold move from the Romanian, but he didn't make it stick, unfortunately. That's allowed Tyen through back up into P7 at this rate, and not he's going to be overtaking Muscat with ease.
Yeah, wow. I can't believe the closing speeds that some of these guys have got. It's absolutely incredible. If you had a tighter corner than turn 1, you definitely see more overtaking in this race, and we already have seen a lot of overtaking, so it's certainly a really good series to overtake in. I guess it's just a big difference in some of the wing settings that drivers might be running today. Some will go with more or less downforces. It typically is a more downforce circuit, but of course we've got to find a way of overtaking people down these very long straights. Perhaps not into the best corners in the world for overtaking, but they're straights nonetheless.
Tyen on the inside of Spoon! What a lovely move that was from Jarl Tyen. He got on the outside of Muscat and basically cut back on the entrance to Spoon there. And what a lovely move he managed to pull off there, but it's meant a compromise exit. Oh, what was he thinking? Jarl Tyen! That was, well, let's keep it clean, shall we? I called someone stupid last broadcast and I got a complaint for that, but that was not the smartest of moves from Jarl Tyen, completely cutting off Muscat for no reason whatsoever. And I am mightily impressed with Jason for being able to save that, because by all accounts, I've seen most drivers who've ended up in that sort of situation ploughing straight into the wall.
Yeah, I thought he was gone and got a tank slapper on and was going to spin out in front of the field then, but luckily he managed to hold on to it somehow. I don't know how, I guess because he was already travelling in a straight line, he managed to keep it going. And he's not finished yet because he's still got a lot of drivers behind him as well. He's got a real battle on his hands. He seems to be going backwards rather than forwards in this race, so he definitely had a good start, but it's not really going his way now.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether the hot-headedness from Jarl is getting to him. I mean, if I started on pole position, I've only done that once in my entire sim racing career, but you know, if I started on pole position and I got knocked back to 10th by the end of the first corner, I'd be pretty miffed, to be honest. But then surely it's down to the drivers to remain cool and think, well, look, you know, I've clearly got the pace to go on pole position, so I need to reapply that, make sure I get through the field. As Muscat, yeah, as you rightly say, he's got a battle royale on his hands with Gagzella and Cantonen, his former teammate and Adonis in close pursuit. It looks like Gagzella might actually be looking to line up a move here around the outside of 130 yard. No, he can't get it done, but here comes Cantonen now on the outside of 130 yard as well. He's going to be having a little look into the casino triangle, maybe. Gagzella going in a little softly and Muscat going a little deep. Eventually all three come out the same way, but on the back straight you never know what's going to happen. Gagzella goes straight into the slipstream. He looks to have had a much better exit. Cantonen now riding up onto the back of him. Is he going to have a little look? Surely not. Into turn one we go. Muscat just about holding on. Gagzella's going to try and stick it around the outside, but he can't get anything done. And despite all the battling these three are doing, they're still going in the corners the same way they came out.
Yeah, I don't know how they're managing to hold on to this by going side by side into corners. They're clearly keeping it fairly clean, and it seems to be really easy to pick up a good toe in the slipstream, and then as soon as you get to the side by side with someone, it's like hitting a brick wall and there's nothing you can do. As though looking into the deck and no, just a little.
Oh, it's Parker. That's it. Parker's off. Oh my word, that's a dangerous free entry as well. Parker went off at the Degners. That must be like the 5th driver I've seen this event so far. Out of a 29-man field going off at the Degners, and so Tom Parker's fallen all the way down from P4 down to P9. He comes in behind this battle of Muscat, Gagzella and Cantonen, but a real shame for Parker. But what this is meaning, of course, for the team championship is crucial, because that means they've got one Adonis car ahead of a Simcraft car now. And look who's behind Tom Parker. It's Menno Klons, of course, who's come into his own team to try and save their team's championship or make it a bit more comfortable for them. He's got Simcraft in his sights, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be a lovely bit of motivation to try catch up to him. But then again, he's got to look behind him because... Oh, someone's gone right, sorry.
Is that
Cantonen? Oh, it's Cantonen around. Cantonen around, yeah, let me have a look there, see what happens. So it was going into Casino Triangle, and oh yeah, no, Cantonen just basically went into Gagzella's side. His own fault, unfortunately. So Cantonen, after such a wonderful start, rejoins in P15, so still in the points, but still plenty to relearn after, of course, he recovered from his own injury earlier in the season. Meanwhile, as I say, Philip Pushka, Menoclon didn't have to worry about him for long because Pushka is already past him and up into P9, the German. So, on lap 10 of 31, a third through this race so far, and I'm not sure how long my voice is going to hold out for all of it. Burlack leads by 3.2 seconds from Florian Guy. Fran Lopez in P3, still in close pursuit with Kevin Siggy P4. Jarl Tyen back up to P5 with Muscat 6, Gagzella 7, Park Grave, Pushka 9, and Menno Klons rounding out your top 10. The other point scorers being Francic, Beresford, Loknovsky, Nieminen, and Cantonen. After that spin into Gagzella, all the way down in P15 now.
Yeah, Pushka's proving once again that all he wants to do is have fun, and he's doing it so cleanly as well. All his moves are just so decisive, and he doesn't wait around. He sticks it up the inside of the driver and just stamps his authority and makes the move stick, and then just carries on to the next driver, and somehow he does it all without crashing into someone. So incredible job by Pushka, and yeah, I wonder what he can do in race 2.
Remember, he is our championship leader, of course. He took the lead by 1 point after the events at Abu Dhabi, and crucially his main championship rival, so Gaia in P2 there, he's a long way behind, and I'm actually wondering, we've got to keep an eye on the scores for this round, because Filip Puška, if he's in the right position, could very well walk away from Japan with the driver's title. Remember, it is only Puška, De Vries, Muscat and Guy still mathematically with a chance, and one of the drivers isn't even here today.
Yeah, De Vries, our champion-elect, he pretty much had it in the bag, and then he moved on into Super League, so he gave up his Super Cup drive, and that was his championship done and dusted by then. And Puška, to be fair to him, he's taken all the points that he can, even from starting from the back of the grid at every race. He's taken all the points that he possibly can, and he's taken the lead because of it. He could have easily crashed out of quite a few races and not taken the lead of the championship, so Puška's still done a good job, and he will be a worthy champion just from watching his drives as he's going up another the inside of someone else now.
Tom Parker. Yes, as you say, he's got that decisive move nailed, hasn't he? And here he goes, look, trying to have a look up the inside of Spoon as Fran Lopez. What's happened to Lopez? Oh, hello, he's had an off at Spoon. Yeah. So, oh no, he hasn't, sorry. No, he's done a Perez. Oh, he's gone off the hairpin. Right, and so Lopez rejoins behind his battle between Muscat and Gagzella. He's going to have a look on the inside of Gagzella. Not quite being able to do it there, but oh dear, and on the inside, and well out of control. And oh dear, a lot of hot heads here at Suzuka, and here comes Tom Parker now as well. I'm not predicting good things from this, but let's see. Lopez P7, Tom Parker P8. Can Parker look to turn one? He thinks better off here, and so Lopez settles into P7. He's got a long drive ahead of him. Curse on the commentator strikes again. I thought it was a dark course for the race win. Not anymore. And so Burlak leads by 3.9 seconds, and Gaia, all on his own really, got a 4-second gap ahead of him, got about a 3-second gap behind him to Lopez's teammate Kevin Siggy. It's nice and quiet up at the front, but as soon as you look back to P5, it is absolutely manic, and I can't tell whether some of these drivers are going to make a mistake as Puška goes down the inside of Parker into Degner 2. That was close. Oh dearie me, I'm not seeing this ending well, Sam.
No, even Puška's starting to get a bit hot-headed now. He's being held up by this long train of cars. This is truly a remarkable train here that is being led by Jason Muscat. And yeah, Fran Lopez once again, another race where he just seems to fall back after a good start, and let's hope he can continue. Is someone going wide at Spoon? They have.
Muscat! Oh my word, that was a difficult rejoin. Yeah, it's the strange thing about Suzuki. You don't necessarily need to be the fastest. All you need to do is keep all 4 tyres on the tarmac, and Jason Muscat unable to do that. Rejoins a bit haphazardly into Puška's path, and you know, even as cool-headed as Puška usually is, I wouldn't blame him for being a bit angry after that, because he's been held up yet again.
Yeah, he was really the one that, well, didn't benefit at all. He actually came off worse because of that. He could have got through, but he got held up and had to hold back and lost out on his chance to attack Tom Parker in the same moment as well. And I thought this group would split up now, but it looks like we've got a new head of the train instead. It's Gagzella, isn't it? We're in 5th place, and he's running a bit wide, and yeah, he's holding up the train now. He's starting to make a bit of a gap between himself and Lopez, who's definitely coming under pressure from Parker on a recovery drive, really lighting up the tyres as well.
It doesn't really matter what order they come into the corners in, it's about what order they come out of, I think, which is going to be the most interesting thing. Gagzella, I think, making really good use of Lopez's struggle of keeping Parker behind as Parker up the inside of the hairpin here. Bit of contact on exit. Lopez stays ahead just about. Here comes Jason Muscat now up the inside of Parker around the corner, which I don't even know the name of. All I know is that next is Spoon, and they're almost going 4 wide as Muscat. What a save that was! Really lucky. And there goes Parker up the inside of Lopez. Into Spoon. Can Lopez hold on around the outside? It'd be incredible if he could. No, he doesn't. And now he's got Jason Muscat on the inside. It's like the meat in the sandwich, isn't it? But you don't want to be the meat in this situation. It's 5 other high-powered vehicles going around the outside of you. Oh my goodness me. Lopez going onto the anti-cuts. Rejoining again. And almost contact with Puška as he's pushing Muscat round the Cassier triangle. My word, it's manic as we've got pitters now as well. Gagzella goes round for Parker, Muscat and Lopez. They all pit. And I think that's probably one of the best things you could do is Pushka battles with Klont into turn 1. Pushka stays just ahead, but you know what? I'd say it's very, very smart of those three to pit now. It was looking like it was going to end in an accident, and maybe say, look, we've used our tyres well enough here, let's go into some primes, let's get into some free air.
Well, the way they're coming out the pits, they could be in for another accident as Lopez really lights up the rear tyres there. And now they're going to have to bat it out amongst themselves and the guys lower down the field as well on the old worn tyres. So this could really cause a traffic jam now, as these guys have got to set their fastest laps to try and catch up with the likes of Gagzella and Pushka and Klont, who are going to try and come out of the pits in front of them, but whether they can do that or not, I don't know.
I'm just having a little look back up to the battle for P3 here. Well, it wasn't a battle, it is now. Jarl Tyen has really made up the gap to Kevin Siggy here. And the Waters Automotive driver, he is necessarily, I'm not sure whether they're planning on pitting their two drivers at the same time. But here comes Tyen down into 130R, and Siggy, I think, deciding that discretion's the better part of valor there, and noticeably backing out of that battle. Erlach goes round again, but Gaia, interestingly, Gaia, one of the best people on his tyres, comes into the pits here on lap 14 of 31. He's followed in by Tyen and Siggy also. Gagzella goes round again though, so Erlach and Gagzella are only two drivers yet to make the pit stop.
That's interesting. It definitely must be the time to change tyres, and maybe these guys know that if they stay on these other compounded tyres for too long, then they'll just fall out of the standings and really drop down. As I see that Gagzella and Siggy's come out, and you can't really see anyone near them from that other group that previously pitted, so they've got a big gap between themselves and the likes of
Here they come now, oh my god, here they come now! Sorry, it's Muscat, Lopez and Parker! Almost going 3 wide into turn 1. What a time that was to see. Parker losing out massively there. Goodness me. And they've, I tell you what, yeah, all their battling is still going at it. It's like hammer and tong. Goodness me. So Kevin Siggy, so no, wrong people. Klont and Pushka have actually jumped all three of these drivers. Lopez, Muscat and Parker, all three of them have moved down the order now. All because of their manic battling, which is still going on through the Degners. It's all Parker! Goodness me, how he's able to save that, I do not know, but it's getting a bit like the Wild Wild West here. No gunslinging here, though, please. We want some clean battling.
Yeah, it's looking really rabid, and I just don't know what they're doing, because it seems to be one guy leads the little train that they've got, spins or goes off track, comes back on behind the train, and they just swap positions, so they're gradually getting further and further back behind everyone else. Parker's gone off at Spooner once again, so it's gone from bad to worse for Parker now. He's dropping down the standings like a rock, and he's really going to have big trouble trying to fight back from this now.
Right, interesting news. Burlak in and out of the pits. He comes out well ahead of Gaia. We had all of our pitters now. Gagzella in as well, so Gaia goes through to retake P2. Tyen up into P3. Where's Siggy? Oh, Siggy's lost his front wing. Oh, what on earth happened to Siggy? Let me have a look here. He looks like his car's crabbing as well. Oh, God, he went off a while back. Oh, he made a carbon copy of his teammate, Fran Lopez, but his impact was much worse, as though he's lost his front wing. So that means that Gagzella, after all that nice free air, is up into P4. Menno Klont, after starting P14, is up into P5. Philip Pushka from the back of the grid once again up into P6. Lopez 7th, Muscat 8th, Scott Beresford now up into P9. Adrian McNaughton 10th, Tom Parker 11th, Campton in 12th, Francis 13th, Tapper 14th, and Ari Neelan, who was the last person to pit here for the normal tyres, comes out in the points in P15.
Yeah, tried to catch that replay of CE, unfortunately had loads of lag, so you could kind of make it out, but not too much. But yeah, that's once again positive sim racing, really struggling to really get a result out of a race in recent weeks. It seems to be a strong performance, but nothing to show for it at the moment, and the last hope now is Lopez on his recovery drive, as many of these drivers seem to be. I'd say, apart from Burlak and Gaia in first and second, everyone else has had to make up for misdemeanors earlier on in the race.
I think Parker's gone off again. Yeah, Parker's gone off at Spoon again. And now he's behind Kantonen and Francic. Oh, sorry, it was behind Kantonen and Francic. He's battling with Francic now into the Cassier triangle. Can he go around the outside? Oh, no, he can't. Francic closes the door rather forcefully there. But yet more drama for Parker as he attempts to try and get some more points out of this race, but can't seem to after such a wonderful start as well from the midfield up into first place. If you ask me, letting his teammate through was the worst decision he could have made. A bit better than that one though, running into the back of Francic, possibly causing the Croatian a bit of damage on the rear wing. He's got all the work to do once again, Parker, and it's just been it's almost been like an avalanche. It started slowly and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse as the race has gone on.
Yeah, there's nothing much else you can say. He's just gone backwards, and it's not through pace or anything. It's just he's completely overdriving the car and just steaming into corners way too fast, and he just needs to calm down, regain his composure, and just drive smoothly. Perhaps do a couple of slow laps, and you'll soon find he's going faster than he was beforehand. And yeah, I think he's cost himself a reverse grid pole as well now, which is currently being held by Jason Muscat.
No, it's being held by Scott Beresford.
Oh.
Well, out of the, we got, to give you a reminder, it's 6 to 10 reverse grid. So it's potentially, at the moment, Pont, Lopez, yeah, Muscat, McNaughton, or Beresford. Shout out to McNaughton, actually, up in the top 10 once again. The Englishman, and battling with his, I like to think his rival for this championship, Scott Beresford. The two of them have been close together at an awful lot of times this season. Now seen him battling up in the top 10, of course. Meanwhile, more up at the front. It's lap 18 of 31, and Petter Burlak now leads by 6.2 seconds. So he is really starting to put the foot down, isn't he? As McNaughton pits, sorry. So McNaughton hadn't pitted until that point, which means that Askari Kantonen, of all people, in that top 10 position. But goodness me, running very, very wide at turn 1. He could let Francic through. Just comes on ahead of the Croatian. And, well, Dave's going to have that in his sights now. He's going to think, right, Kantonen is there. Let's go get him. Let's hope that we can get a reverse grid pole position. Gaia in P2 was comfortably there, but Jarl Tyen, goodness me, I'm not sure what the ramifications of his move on Jason Muscat earlier in this race are going to be, but you can't blame him for persistence. He has been hammering in the laps, lap after lap after lap, a faster one, and it's paying dividends, because here he is right on the back of Florian Gaia now, and after what was looking like an irrecoverable situation for a Waters 1-2, he's staring right down the barrel of it once again. Yeah,
he was fighting with the likes of Muscat, wasn't he, earlier in that long train, and now he's just so far ahead of them that it's just amazing the pace that he's got. He definitely really got out of place after that start, so good job by him for keeping it clean so far, and now he's going to go, oh my days.
Oh my days indeed. That was, do you remember that Schumacher Barrichello move? As I believe I've just disconnected possibly,
yeah,
but you know that, but you know that Barrichello Barrichello Schumacher move. Apologies if we've lost their images here. Hopefully we'll be able to come back. But at least Schumacher gave Barrichello some room. Gaia just absolutely cut him off. As there we go, we are back now. It was just a bit of server lag, thankfully. But that was ferocious from Gaia.
I didn't quite catch it because I was looking from TV cam, not on board, but there must have been contact between the two, because Tyen had a good run and Guy just completely closed the door fully and put himself in the wall practically to keep Tyen out of there. So yeah, Tyen's looking really fired up now. He's all over the gearbox trying to push him around this corner right now. It's amazing they don't spin off.
An angry Tyen is a Tyen that should be feared on the track, both for his speed and indeed how desperate he gets to make a move done. But evidently the faster drive, the Norwegian, so fast, and here he comes up the inside of 130R. This should surely be move done. Yes, it is. Tyen makes it a Waters 1-2 once again, though I still feel that that's potentially not in the order he would have liked it.
No, definitely not. I think he really wants to beat his new boy teammate right here today. And yeah, perhaps if he had a decent start, he might have been able to hold on to that lead. We'll never know now, will we?
It was that start though, wasn't it? He was just so slow off the line, and it evidently cost him a lot. And well, we'll see. We'll see. It's lap 20 of 31 here. We've still got 11 laps or so to go. 6.9 seconds is the gap. Can Tyen make that up? Very possibly. We'll have to wait and see. So Gaia now down to P3. Emmanuel Gagzella still all on his own in P4. He's 10 seconds behind Gaia, but crucially about 4 seconds ahead of Pushka. And this is by far and away the most composed event I have seen from Gagzella. I've no doubt cursed that now. But he just looks to be in a lot more control of his car. I'm not sure whether he's had a setup breakthrough or something, but he's looked fast in qualifying. He's looked fast in the race, but more crucially, he chose absolutely the right strategy at the right time to ensure that he had the most free space at the right time to make sure he's putting in those good laps and came in some nice free air and came out in nice free air, which is the crucial thing. And he's there in P4. What a good result from him if he can hold that to the end.
Yeah, I was going to say as well that he just needed a good...
Connected. You were moved.
Come back, Sam. I've just been keeping them abridged, and yeah, sorry, Cantonen, he just went wide at Spoon corner on Exin. Scott Beresford was just able to get past him as, oh, what's happened to Lopez there? Was Lopez making a move on Clont? Oh yeah, Lopez got really twitchy on the braking and almost lost into the Cassier triangle. Menno Clont P6 then, Lopez still catching though. Beresford P9 was P9, sorry, Ascari Canton's battling with him. Into turn one once again. Can the Finnish driver get it this time? Yes, he can. Cantonen back up into P9. These two having a lovely little scrap. Welcome back, Sam.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think that was me more than the servo. Oh, it must have been me, of course. But yeah, sorry about the pictures. We'll have them back for you in a second, of course. Just got to rejoin everything up, so keep on going, James.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, actually, we were talking about this gap between Burlak and Tyen potentially coming down. It was 6.9. It's now 5.5. So Tyen, clearly the fastest driver, but it's lap 22 of 31. Pretty much 9 laps to get the gap even further down. And I feel that 6.9 was a bit too big of an ask for the Norwegian here today. Guy behind P3, Gagzella P4, Pushka P5, Quad P6 with Fran Lopez still trying to get back onto the back of Clont here. Perhaps pushing too hard, which has him 2 seconds now, the gap between Burlak and Tyen. We've only got 9 laps, 8.5 laps to go now though, and it's not coming down enough for Tyen to be able to properly challenge, I fear.
Yeah, I think he's going to give it his best shot, and I just hope that he doesn't cost himself second place by doing so, because I think second place for him will still be a good result, and a good result, of course, for the team. That'll be absolutely over the moon to get a 1-2 here in the main race, the one that really counts out of the two, although I wouldn't mind winning the second one, that's for sure. But yeah, it's looking like it's definitely calmed down a bit. We've got the pictures back, so everyone should be able to see the action once again. And the action looks like it might be Fran Lopez going for 6th place at the moment.
Yes, Pushka's gone wide, I noticed. This could be a 3-way battle now. So Lopez has been reeling in Clont once again. R3 crossing himself up into the Cassier triangle. And there you can see Pushka ahead. He's much slower off the corner. Fran Lopez looking for the move on the inside of 130R. Fran Lopez through for positive sim racing. Up ahead is Philip Pushka. And heading into the Cassier triangle once again. Lopez fully ahead of Clont. Pushka very, very close. Yeah, and I'm just hearing through from David Junt here that apparently Tyen almost suffered a retirement through a spinning Mazurek. I can only imagine that Mazurek was potentially, yeah, it must have been a Demurmeister. because Niemann is still in the points, so it's just been overtaken by Niza as it happens. So Niza up to P13, Niemann down to P14. But a lovely move from Lopez there. Of course, we still got to remember the stewards' decisions are... The stewards are definitely going to have an interesting one looking at this, because there's been plenty to look at. Drivers going off galore.
Yeah, to be fair though, I've been surprised, because this is an incredibly hard track, and I thought the attrition rate was going to be much higher than this. So to have the amount of drivers that we've still got going around circulating is pretty impressive, to say the least. Perhaps it hasn't been all clean and we haven't managed to avoid the barriers all the time, but yeah, I was definitely expecting about half the field to drop out potentially, because it's such a tough track to drive on. It really is no errors. The only place that you can really get away with it is a spoon and 130R. Everywhere else you're going to go into the wall just by going on the grass most likely.
Lap 25 of 31 here, worth going through our retirements actually. We had Sandeep Choudhury and Maurice Bracan out on lap 3 of 31. Christoph Lichtenstein out on lap 4, Ben Horrell out on lap 5, and Mikko Jakinen, the last of our retirements so far, on lap 15, halfway through this race. The gap between the front two now 5 seconds. It is still coming down, but not by enough, as we have a battle for P9, 10 and 11 here now as well. Beresford has re-overtaken Kantonen. David Francis has gone right stuck in this battle again. So we talk about this top 10 reverse grid. It is being fought over tooth and nail. Here's Francis up the inside of Kantonen. Can he make it sick? Kantonen going a little bit wide. Kantonen trying to make it sick around the outside, and that was wonderful defensive work from the Finnish driver, just about holding on. Francis looking inspired though.
Yeah, just while that was going on as well, Lopez got past Pushka going into turn 1, so Lopez definitely on a recovery drive and doing very well in terms of pace. But yeah, this battle is really heating up, and Beresford will be glad to be out in 9th at the moment. Gives him a better chance, of course, and yeah, he's looked pretty good this season, Beresford, after moving up from Formula Challenge. He's definitely held his own and scored some points along the way, so he's doing a good effort. But of course he's got Kantonen and Francic, who of course is another star man at taking reverse grid pole and then running away with it, is Francic, so he'll be looking for a 10th spot as well. So this is definitely a battle that's going to rage on right until the end.
Sure, Francic will have memories, of course, of when he secured reverse grid pole position in the 2014 Belgian Sports Series. He's the only man to have secured a win for the once high-flying Triple 20 outfit this year. So Francic looking to do well. He's a driver who's got a lot of pace and a lot of potential, but has often fallen foul of some bad luck or his own errors. There's another one again, crossing up under braking into the Cassier triangle, thankfully keeping it out of Kantonen's rear end. But yeah, Scott Beresford, I think he's been able to get a little bit of a hold on this situation now, really starting to pull the gap on Kantonen, as he has to sort of shift all focus to Francic behind him as we head on to lap 26 to 31 with these three.
Yeah, Francic actually had a running Kantonen there down the straight, but then just pulled out the throttle slightly going into turn 1, because he didn't even want to attempt to move, because he would have only got his nose poked up the inside, and that wouldn't have really ended it well for him in terms of he'd have either hit Kantonen or he would have just fallen back and lost all momentum. So good work there by Francic to hold on and just be patient, because he's definitely got a chance of taking this 10th place position right here.
I've just noticed that Santiago Niza has moved his way up into P12 as well, the Spanish driver. Really starting to pull through, as I noticed. Sorry, Manu, what happened to Pushka and Lopez? Pontre overtaken both of them. Let's have a look here. It was the Mule. Oh, wow! Okay, both Lopez and Pushka have lost their front wings. Yeah. The Mulemeester. He spun at the hairpin, and both Pushka and Lopez have been caught out. The Mulemeester once again spinning. He was the driver who Tyen almost lost his front wing to. And now Lopez and Pushka, after such wonderful drives throughout the field, may very well have to pit again. And this is absolutely catastrophic for the two of them.
Yeah, what is it? Is it about 4 or 5 laps we've still got to do? There's no chance that they can do that without front wings. And yeah, that Pushka pulls in. I think Lopez follows him as well, and they've just got to take this penalty effectively now, get the front wings sorted out. And wow, I think that's cost them. It's cost them loads. They're going to be so far down the field. They're not going to get any chance of getting back into the top 10 now. So disaster for both drivers.
In come the two of them. Meanwhile, behind, look at this. The battle effectively 10th position now.
Oh!
Santiago Niza. Oh, what's going on?
There was this contact, wasn't there? Is that what I'm looking at?
Well, with Niza and Parker?
Yeah.
No, they were fine. They were close. But here comes Parker. So Santiago Niza in P10 now, astonishingly. But can Parker take that away from the Spaniard around the outside? Oh, Parker. That was never going to work, unfortunately.
I think you're on replay. I think you're on replay, just to let you know.
You're absolutely right. There was contact indeed between Parker and Niza into turn 1. But here goes Parker up the inside of Degner 2. Ultimately, his speed prevailing, and Parker into P10. Niza shuffled down to P11.
Yeah, Parker's just had a sniff of an opportunity after seeing himself climb up the leaderboards as he went along the pit straight, and suddenly he's turned it all back on and he's decided to get back straight on it again. It's a real shame for Niza. It'd be fantastic to see Niza on pole. I'd absolutely love that, because I'd love to see what he'd be able to do, fighting it up with the big boys from the very beginning, as he always seems to be able to come through and get a reasonable position just outside the top 10 in many of the races. So yeah, hopefully Niza's still got a chance.
Just a little update on our two pitters, Pushka, P16, and Lopez has come out behind his teammate, who also had to pit from front wing, Kevin Siggy. So Lopez in 18th, and it's almost like a hark back to the positive sim racing at the start of the season. Plenty of pace, just no luck whatsoever. Meanwhile, Tyen has made another pit stop.
Oh yeah.
How bizarre! So, okay, yeah.
He was on the Red Bull tyres when he chased down Gaia and passed him, so was he always planning a two-stopper, do you think?
Potentially, and so what this means is that Emmanuel Gagzella, given that Tyen isn't able to run to the back of him, and given that Gagzella can hold his own, could be staring at his first podium of the season. And who would have believed that we would have been saying that for the Formula Challenge driver who dominated the Drivers' Championship in 2013. We're at the penultimate round here. And you know what? I'm not even sure that podium is secure yet, because of course Tyen on the faster tyre now. It is only lap 28 of 31. We're going to be going on to lap 29 of 31. I have no doubt that Tyen will be able to catch up the 2 seconds, which he is back from Gagzella currently.
Yeah, you'd have to think so, that he's just going to reel him right in, because they're on the same compound, but of course Tyen, he's got, must be about 15 laps younger tyres, and that's going to be a huge difference, especially when we come down to the final lap of this race as well, and you can already see him starting to make the ground up, so it won't be long now before we get a big battle for third place.
I'm just getting oh, and yeah, just a little notice through that Kevin Siggy, he becomes our 6th, no he does not, sorry, becomes our 7th retirement, 8th retirement of race 1. Dimitri Demulmeister calling it quits after spinning and essentially ruining Pushka's and Lopez's race. Kevin Siggy binned it at Degner 2. He's become one of many drivers to do that, but he was not so lucky out of this race, unfortunately. So, lap 29 of 31, the order as it stands. Burlak leads from Gaia, Gagzella, Tyen, Clont, Muscat, so Adonis Engineering. Wonderful, wonderful race for them in the end of it. Beresford 7th, Canton in 8th, Francic in 9th with Parker P10, Neiman in 11th, Tapper 12th, Loknowski P13, McNaughton P14, and Philip Pushka P15, which means that Niza, what has happened to him? Has he had another stop?
I don't know, he's down in 18th, isn't he?
Is he on the red tyres?
Oh, I'm not going to scroll that far back.
No, it's fine, don't worry. Right, we're presuming that he's out to pit again like Tyen, unfortunately, which is a real shame. But I tell you what, Gagzella, he's not lost much ground at all. In fact, he's holding the gap at 2 seconds. Yeah,
they pretty much matched each other through Sector 1 there, and just waiting to see Sector 2 update, just to see the times between the two, and it's not updating for me, so I can't tell you what it is.
It is, it's now 1.8 seconds between the two. David Junt confirming Niza has pitted, so thank you, David, our pit lane reporter, effectively for today. Lap 30 of 31. 2 laps to go. The big story here today now, Peter Burlak looking for a win in Super Cup on his debut. He leads by 11.6 seconds from Florian Gaia, who is trying his best to keep the championship alive. He needs to be within 50 points of Philip Pushka, or whoever the eventual championship leader is coming out of this event, of course, to be in with a chance of maintaining the fight until the final round in Brazil. Gagzella, though, this is the big one. The 2013 Formula Challenge Drivers' Champion was so dominant, so fast, came to Super Cup, an absolute mess. He leads Jarl Tyen in the battle for the final podium place by 1.7 seconds. He's got 1.5 more laps to do it to be able to take his first podium of the season. What a result that would be for the Romanian.
That would be absolutely incredible, and it's such a good job if he can pull it off. And yeah, he's just turned himself around, because I think he started having a better run in the last couple of races, and now he's definitely really picked it up. And it's such a difficult track as well. It's great to see, and hopefully he can just continue this on for the rest of the season, and especially into race 2 as well. Right,
he heads on to the final lap. The gap between him and Tyen has decreased to 1.2 seconds. Tyen putting on the nitrous boost. I wonder whether we will see a battle right to the death into the Cassier Triangle. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. Clont leads Muscat, 5 and 6 for Adonis Engineering. Adonis have to lead Simcraft Racing by 90 points today in order to secure the team's championship. Plenty of time still to go on that. Beresford 7th, Canton in 8th, Francis 9th, and Tom Parker rounding out our top 10 with Tapper 11th, Neiman 12th, Lochnovsky 13th, Norton 14th, and Pushka 15th. Is what's happening?
Oh, and Degner 1 guy just got hit the curb too hard, got so loose, but somehow he managed to save it. But this has given Tyen the perfect opportunity. Now he, he just goes so deep into the hairpin, but he'll get a good run out of the hairpin now, will Tyen. And he's really got a chance now. Gagzella is really under pressure.
Wasn't the most popular of characters last year, Gagzella, and he's been lamented often for giving up in a championship if things don't go his way. He is stuck at this Super Cup championship like a sticky note on a fridge, and he is going to make sure that he does his utmost to get that first podium. By the way, wins the race. He is that far ahead. Peter Berg on debut takes the race win, but we're more interested in Gagzella versus Tyen. Tyen on the outside of 130R. What a move to take the podium from Gagzella. Can Gagzella get anything back from this? I don't think he can. He tries to get a better exit out of the Cassier Triangle, and no! At the death. Emmanuel Gagzella, it's his best race I've ever seen him do this season for sure. Just misses out on the podium. Florian Gaia 2nd, Tyen 3rd, Gagzella 4th. Menocon comes home P5 from a P14 start, wonderful left from him. Jason Muscat, similar lows, comes home P6, Beresford 7th, Canton in 8th, Franchich 9th, and Parker will round out the top 10 as we've got a bit of trouble at the Cassier Triangle there. Lopez, what on earth went on there? He was catching on to the battle of Pushka and Lochnovsky. He just tried to cut both of them off. That was really poor. So Tapper 11th, Neiman 12th, Pushka ended up 13th, Lopez 14th, McNaughton 15th, and Lochnovsky out the points. I'm pretty sure he'll feel hard done by. A lot of difficult situations to deal with in that race. A lot of questionable moves. Our retirements, by the way, were Sandeep Chowdhury, Maurice Brackham, Christoph Lichtenstein, Ben Horrell, Mikko Jakinen, Dimitri Demulmeister, and Kevin Siggy. And I shall just note down the reverse grid men in question. They could potentially be Muscat, Beresford, Kantonen, Franchich, and Parker. And it seems like Lochnovsky ran out of fuel. What an awful shame for him.
That is a disappointment, certainly, and I think there was a bit of bad blood there across the line between Pushka and Lopez. They had a bit of contact, and a bit more contact when they came to rest as well. So I don't know if it was a bit of friendliness or a bit of rivalry right there, but there was certainly something going on. So I don't know if anything's kicking off in the chat. Won't be showing that just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. Crucially, though, in the team's championship, Simcraft outscored Adonis by 5 points in that race. So that's exactly what they needed to do. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Pushka only scored 3 at the end of it. All before penalties, of course. Muscat scored 10, Gaia scored 20. So as we head through onto the next session, I think I'm going to rejoin as a person who can see what's going on with what tyres and everything, rather than an unknown. An interesting story there, of course. So Simcraft keeping the Teams Championship alive, at least for this race. And let's see, so it's 50 points they've got to be within of Pushka to be able to secure the drivers. Currently, Jason Muscat, the closest, on 388. Pushka on 328. So that's 40 points the difference. They're doing everything he can.
How much do you get for a win in each of the races then?
25.
Is that for race 1 and race 2?
Both races, yes.
Both races. So there's still 75 points up for grabs then. If I'm
Absolutely.
getting my basic maths correct. That's interesting. That means there's still a ways to go, but it could be wrapped up in this next race then, couldn't it?
Because remember, De Vries is out of this championship. It's irrelevant what happens to him, or it is irrelevant. He is irrelevant. Get your words out properly, James. So the main story really is if Pushka is 50 points ahead of either Muscat or Gaia, he's won that championship. End of. Right then, time for the reverse grid poll. Once my laptop decides to cooperate here, once it's loaded every single car in the world. Again, we must apologise for the whole quality of the stuff last minute. But anyway, to remind you, reverse group pole position candidates are Jason Muscat, Scott Beresford, Sky Cantonen, David Frantich and Tom Parker. Your reverse grid number 4, the penultimate round here at Suzuka, is number 6, Jason Muscat on pole. And so I'm pretty sure Adonis will be pretty happy. That is an Adonis 1-2 for them.
That's true, and that'll be interesting because there was certainly a train behind Jason Muscat in that first race, so you can only imagine that there's going to be another in race 2, and it's going to be the whole field. Well, not the whole field, because let's face it, he's one of the quicker drivers, but still, there could be a right train behind him, and we could be in for an absolutely monumentous battle for the top 5 positions.
Jason, yep, that's his first pole position of the year. So he's going to be very happy. But yeah, perfect situation for Adonis, of course. Tom Parker left to Meyer down in P10. To be fair, Gaia not hampered as much as he could have been. Fran Lopez asking, where is the rain? Because there was a potential for rain. None has come yet. Still could come in race 2. But really, it's your move, Adonis. Let's see what you can do and whether you can wrap up the championship.
Yeah, it's certainly a big race for them now. I'm sure that they must be aware of the situation. They've probably talked about it in their own little group chat and in their practice sessions, whatever they have. I don't know what other teams do. I know that my team, I don't practice. I turn up for a race, don't score any points. Lewis practices, he scores points.
Yes. Everyone's got their different ways of preparing. So, we got 50 points, the gap. Maximum it needs to be. So, in order for Philip Pushka... Actually, no, let's put it like this. Given that Philip Pushka scores no points whatsoever, if Gaia was to score 25 points, it'd be 377. Oh! Which means that Gaia is officially out of the championship hunt. So yeah, Gaia, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So Gaia is now out of the championship hunt. Even if he scores 25 points in race 2, and Pushka does not score, he will be 1 point. It will be 51 points. Yeah.
Wow, so by 1 point he's out of it then.
Yep, he's out of it. That means it's all down to Muscat. Otherwise, Philip Pushka is going to be crowned the 2014 UltraNet Supercup champion. On the teams championship side of things, it is much more close. Adonis on 721, Simcraft on 669. Remember, the maximum amount of points you can get on a race evening in Supercup is 90 points. That's 25 points for each race win and 20 points for each second. So currently, Adonis on 721. 90 points back is basic maths, 731. So given that Simcraft don't completely screw this one up, and given that Adonis don't score the maximum amount of points in this race, it should be all settled.
That's
well,
right.
actually, let's put it like this. Adonis, if they score a 1-2, that's 45 points. So that's going to be 766. So that means that no matter what they do, Simcraft has taken the team's championship to the final round at Interlagos.
Very interesting indeed. So that's it's still very much all to play for then, isn't it? It just means that really, let's hope we can go down to the final round. That would be perfect.
Yeah. So we've got 1 minute to go. Teams are open. We don't need to worry about that. The big thing is Pushka versus Muscat. Gaia is now out of it. Pushka is currently 40 points ahead of Jason Muscat. So the big stat that we need to keep an eye on is if Philip Pushka, who remember is not starting even in the top 10, he's starting P13, if he outscores Jason Muscat by more or by 10 points or more, oh no, it would have to be 11 points, wouldn't it? If he outscores him by 11 points or more, then he's won the driver's title for 2014. 18 laps to decide the champion. That's going to be interesting to watch for sure.
And of course, Muscat starts the race in pole, in the points effectively. Pushka's starting right down the field in, what is it, 14th place, is it?
13th, I believe.
13th place there, fair enough. And yeah, out of the points, so Pushka's got it all to do. Muscat's just got to try and hold his own.
Well, remember, points go down to 15th, so like Pushka can still score 1 point even if he's in 15th. It's needless to say, he's done all he needs to do really to make sure that he's in contention. Well, he's tried every which way to make sure that he's not in contention at the final hour. He will be in contention at the final hour. He could get it all wrapped up today. We're going to wait and see. We could have our third driver's champion announced. Fourth? Third. Definitely third. Because we've had our WSS champion, we've had our Formula Challenge champion. Super League is expected to be announced tomorrow. And ITC is expected to be announced, or will be announced, next Monday.
It'd be nice then if we could have at least one that goes down to the final round then, so nothing against Pushka, but it'd be nice if he doesn't get out, if he doesn't outscore Muscat and Muscat outscores him, just to make it a bit closer, just to at least make it go down to the final round, to give us something all to talk about, because this has been a fantastic season for Super Cup. It really has. It's we've seen some excellent racing, and I really do love this format of a long first race and a shorter second race. It just really spices things up and gives you something else to look forward to, even in the dying stages of race one, when it might just be, you know, just calming down a little bit. And we're about to find out what kind of action we're going to get in race 2.
So let's have a look here. Adonis front 2, followed by Gagzella, followed by Tyen in 4th. I think that P6 grid is going to work against Adonis, because you got the 3 fastest guys in the field by miles, only 3-4 places behind you.
Yeah, it's not much, is it? It's not much of a buffer at all, and all it takes is for a couple of guys to have a bad start, and it's not going to make any difference. But it will be interesting now, because Burlak's going to have to fight with other drivers, as he did a little bit in race 1, but much more than he perhaps did in race 1, in terms of he might have a much longer battle to at least attempt to get to the front. Who knows what might happen in turn 1. So it'll be interesting to see what Burlak can do.
It all comes down potentially to this then. Jason Muscat, the only person left in with a chance of taking the 2014 UltraNet Supercup Drivers title, starts on pole position. He's only taken 2 race wins this year, and both of them were at China. Behind him, Menno Klont, team manager, and for today, his teammate. He's only taken 1 race win this season. Behind him, Emmanuel Gagzella for Storm Racing hasn't taken a podium this season. Been looking as strong as ever here though. Jarl Tyen, P4, he's only taken 1 win. He's taken 3 pole positions though. Guy at P5 for Simcraft has taken 1 win and 2 poles. So a nice mix up top 5. Petter Burlak on his debut in Super Cup. He won race 1. What can he do here in race 2 for Waters Automotive? Scott Beresford starts P7 for the 6-axis with Ascari Cantonen, P8 for Satellite. David Francis, P9 for Multiforce, and rounding out the top 10 is Tom Park for Simcraft. Dawi Tapper starts P11 for Street Fighter with Ari Neiman, P12 for Mazurek. Bela Pushka starts P13 for PB Racing, our championship leader, remember. And Lopez starts P14 for Positive with Adrian McNaughton, P15 for Storm. Havelock-Nofsky starts P16 for FA with Roy Versal, P17 for Fox. Santiago Niza starts P18 for Street Fighter with Yuri Oziano, P19 for Scuderia Basilia. Ollie Pelkinen starts P20 for Centurion Grand Prix with P21 being held by Yanni Vannon for FA. Jonathan Osterklint starts P22 for Satellite with Kevin Siggy, P23 for Positive. Dimitri Demulmeister starts P24 for Mazurek with Miko Yakinen, P25 for Scuderia Basilia. Ben Horrell starts P26 for Centurion with Christoph Lichtenstein starting from the pit lane for Fox. So that means the starting P27 will be Maurice Brackhand, and starting P28 and rounding out the grid will be Sandy Chodder for Multiforce GP. Everyone's going on the primes, and Miko Yakinen has clumsily spun it on the formation lap. He will be starting from the pit lane also. That's
not what you want to do, but, well, he wasn't in a good start position anyway, so we'll see. We might avoid any inevitable corners that ensue in the first few corners.
So the leaders just burn out now onto the grid. Who's your pick for the race win?
Oh, it's going to be hard. I think Tyen's going to want to make up for his first race, and I think he could be the guy to win the race. But of course, I think Burlak will definitely battle him hard as well, and who knows what Muscat could do from pole, but I'll stick with Tyen.
Good Waters start again. We shall wait and see as the lights come on now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and here for Suzuka at the second time of asking. We're racing, and it's a wonderful start from Muscat, lightning off the line, goodness me. Behind gets a much better start than last time, and he's past Minocons already as we head to turn 1. He's into P2 already, he's got past Gagzella as well. Cantonen also had a good start, it's much cleaner than last time out, that's for sure. Muscat, lightning getaway, but how long can he keep that up? Jarl Tyen is free of everyone ahead of him. Klont P3, Gagzella P4, Park already up to P6. He had a wonderful start once again ahead of his teammate Gaia. Burlak down to 8th, Beresford down to 9th, and David Francis currently rounding out the top 10 as we head through the Degners now with Jason Muscat. You can already see how close Jarl Tyen is getting to Muscat, and I'm expecting a move very, very soon because the pace differential between the two is extraordinarily large. And look at that, Tyen already on the back of Muscat. As we enter and exit the hairpin, Muscat will just want to run away as far as possible. I think he wants to score as many points as he can ahead of Philip Pushka. That's the big thing for him today.
Yeah, but here we go, battle for the lead into Spoon, and they're side by side, and oh wow, it's
game over.
It's already done. It's already done and dusted.
Oh, contact between Gagzella and Klont on the exit Spoon area, and here comes Cantonen who fancies a go at them both. Cantonen on the inside of Klont and Gagzella who came to contact on the exit Spoon. Meanwhile, Muscat, sorry, he's having a little look up the inside Tyen. No, he isn't. Cantonen past Klont and Gagzella due to mistake. Oh my word! So many cars going wide, so much contact, many wows. But at the end of lap 1 then, Jarl Tyen just about, mind you, leads Jason Muscat, Ascari Cantonen. Wonderful, wonderful starts. He's up into P3, then a Klont P4. Gaia now into P5 ahead of Gagzella. Hagen P7, Burlak P8. Dawi Tapper up into P9. They're battling hard with Pushka and Lopez into turn 1. Tapper stays in P9, Pushka P10.
Yeah, it's a real hornet's nest there. I think it was Gagzella that ran wide coming out of 130R, and the whole field just backed up into him, and we suddenly had about 4 wide going into the final chicane, but somehow everyone got round fairly cleanly. No footman's gone at least, and no tears as well. But yeah, look at that by Tyan. I told you he was fired up, and he certainly has been. He's really been a rocket straight out of the blocks, and Muscat must be feeling now that it's damage limitation in terms of the amount of points he can score for this race, because he really needs to, you know, get the points in the bag and keep ahead of Pushka as well.
And Clon's holding on for dear life ahead of Florian Guy here in P4 and 5. Heading into the spoon section we go now. I think Guy might look for a little stab. He does. And ever so close. And what was Clon thinking? Almost trying to... what is Clon doing? He's almost trying to completely ram these guys off the circuit. Guy into 4th. And rightly so, and Gagzella, poor Gagzella, he's trying his best to keep out of trouble, isn't he? He's really put on a good show for himself. He's now got the Simcraft teammate to Guy and Tom Parker there in close pursuit as well as we head into the Cassier Triangle. Parker around the outside and being forced off circuit. Gagzella loses out, and my word, goodness me, it's a 5-car melee! Going down 6-car melee, oh my goodness me, it's like a battle of the ages out here. It's not World War III, gentlemen, and heading into turn 1. God knows what's going on. Oh my word! Fran Lopez threading the needle. He's through into P6, Gagzella into P7, and he's battling with his old Formula Challenge rival, Dawe Tapper, who's up into P8. Burlack down to 9th, Parker down to 10th, Pushka down to 11th, and it is absolutely manic here in the midfield. Once again, so close between all these drivers, perhaps a bit too close for comfort. Fran Lopez there, balls to the walls there. I'm surprised he was able to get through that unharmed. By the way, there's also been a move up at the front, which hopefully was clean. Ascari Canton up into P2 is Tapper now battling with Tom Parker. The two of them going side by side. There goes Philip Pushka on the inside, straight through into P9. Really good opportunistic move. Tom Parker sitting on the inside, can't get anything done. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Gagzella there in P7, holding on for dear life against Petter Burlack. Well done on ruining my voices, guys, but yeah, up at the front, Ascari Cantonen has gone past Jason Muscat, so Cantonen up into P2. I'm pretty sure the Adonis guys are going to be ruining the decision to let their earlier star driver go now.
Yes, it just hasn't worked out for them at all, has it? And yeah, can you believe it? The Cantonen's actually doing a really good job here to get up into P2. He's really started off this race very strongly compared to those around him, and we've still got loads of side-by-sides here. We've got Quantum Lopez and Gagzella and Burlack right behind them as well, going side-by-side, so it's really all happening still.
It's absolute madness in the midfield, so Quant in P5. Here comes Lopez though, from P6. He's going to try around the outside of Quant, surely not. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. How wide he goes, Quant survives in P5 for another day. Burlack gets past Gagzella, so Burlack up into P7, Gagzella down to P8, Parker 9th, Pushka 10th, Tapper 11th, Francis 12th, and still holding on to the back of these guys, Zari Nieminen in P13, your other 2-point scorers being Adrian McNaughton in P14, and Ben Horrell, who came up right up from the back of the grid into P15 there. Big losers out, Scott Beresford down to P90 from a top 10 start, a real shame for him there, and he seems to be the biggest loser out of all of this. But what's impressing me so far is Jarl Tyen's lead is only 1.6 seconds. Ascari Cantonen holding on in there and dragging Muscat in turn with him. So we saw that tyre wear was a real problem for Tyen in race 1, having to pit twice, the Norwegian did, and perhaps tyre wear might come into effect once again near the end of this race, so perhaps it's not a bit too early to count out Canton and Muscat just yet.
Yeah, I was thinking 18 laps in these tyres, that seems quite a distance, isn't it? It's quite a lot to be able to do, so it's going to be interesting to see how drivers cope by the end of the race, because it's a very long way to go, and we didn't really see anyone doing 18 laps on these Red Bull tyres, I don't think, in first race.
Well, we're on the prime tyre.
It's all backwards for me.
All backwards, it doesn't matter too much anyway. Menno Klont holding on for dear life against Petter Burlack here, and actually no, let's look behind there, Tom Parker going around the outside of Gagzella, and oh wow, Philip Pushka, that was a bit bold even for him. Parker up into 8th, Gagzella falling like a stone down the order now into 9th, Philip Pushka in P10 there. And interestingly enough, Cantonen has actually brought the gap down to Tyen. So Cantonen, what has gotten into his system here? really, I mean, he was unlucky, to be fair, at the start of race 1, so could we potentially see the Canton and the Bold back?
Well, let's hope he can keep it on the black stuff first, which is proving rather difficult for many of these drivers. But yeah, Canton, he didn't have that pace in race 1, did he? He hasn't had that pace for quite a while now, so it'd be fantastic to see if he could, you know, even take a win. That would just be something out of this world, but it's a long way to go yet, and of course he'd have to actually pass Tyne first.
Pushka up into P9, he's gotten past Emmanuel Gagzella as well, who's now falling back into the clutches of David Francic and Dawe Tapper P11, and P12 not going Emmanuel's way, unfortunately, is
Yeah, Pushka nearly spun there. Just poked his nose up the inside of Parker through the second part of Spoon and got too much wheel on the curb. And he just had to correct it and just saved it and held on to his position at the moment.
Burlak looking around the outside of Clont at the Cassier triangle. Clont promptly closing the door on the Croatian. Meanwhile, Parker and Pushka go through line astern. Gagzella going through in 10th as well. Tyne starting to stretch his legs now, 2.2 seconds the gap, so clearly seeing that his gap is falling, he's starting to respond a little bit as Pushka gets past Parker into turn 1. So not exactly doing what he needs to do to close off the championship, though I'm pretty sure that's not what he wants to do. But going about things the right way, and another nice clean move into turn 1 for Philip Pushka.
Yeah, he's making his way back up again. We'll have to hope that there's no back markers to get in his way this time around, but yeah, this is looking good for Pushka. He's slowly picking up a point and another point here and there by moving up the field. Oh, but he's gone wide! He's gone wide and he's going to drop.
Just as we say that.
He's going to drop 2 positions, potentially 3. Can he hold on to it around this hairpin? He's got the inside line, so he should be okay. And he is, yeah, but he's certainly pushing then. He's not holding back, and
no,
he's thinking about this championship, that's for sure.
Maybe there's a sense of honour restored in him at least. Here comes David Francis looking on the inside of Spoon. Can't do anything though, so we expect Pushka, I presume, to open up the gap once again, though he's got to get past Gagzella and Parker all over again. Much quieter than race 1, it must be said. The close battle on track though is Clont and Burlak here. Burlak on the inside of 130 for P6 and 7. The Waters driver, as you say, he's turning into Clont there. Oh, dearie me. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but Burlak staying behind Clont. As you rightly say, Burlak finding race 2 a bit more trouble, even though we've had the lowest reverse grip possible.
Yeah, and it's really surprising to see because he was so dominant in race 1.
He's through already though.
Yeah, he just made that position very, very easily, so he's got some good straight line speed there, and yeah, he's just so dominant in race 1, and yet in race 2 he hasn't made any progress at all because he's back where he started. He started 6th and he is in 6th, so
good spot.
No progress at all, but yeah, perhaps now that it's getting a bit more clear around him, he might be able to set some faster lap times, since I think currently Fran Lopez might have the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Man in P5, looking to catch up. I'm also giving an eye on Florian Geyer within 9/10 of Muscat now. We've sort of forgotten about the German, but he is there or thereabouts. The man who took P2 last time out in race 1. Slowly cruising up to the back of Canton and the Muscat here. I presume the battle for the podium will be very much on sooner or later. Meanwhile, this battle at the lower end of the top 10, Pushka has re-overtaken Emmanuel Gagzella already, and look how much time he gains through Spoon on Tom Parker there. I'll be expecting a move from Pushka into maybe turn 1 on what will be lap 8 of 18 already, if not into 130R here. Pushka on the back of Tom Parker through 130R we go once again. The German tucks up nicely underneath the rear wing of Parker. He doesn't go for a stab into the Cassier triangle. I'm presuming he's going to line up a nice exit out of there. Indeed he does, right onto the rear wing of the Englishman once again, and you can see how much time he gains there. He's going to have a look here, surely into turn 1. He's got to wheel up there and he's going to stick it up there. Yep, we were expecting that, and Pushka is through into P8 once again.
Yeah, good move by Pushka. He's certainly got to the limit of his car there. He couldn't go any faster in a straight line, and only just had his car about halfway up the inside of Tom Parker, but he got it through into the braking zone, and of course Parker, being a gentleman there, let him through. well, not let him through, but gave him the room, so at least they didn't clash. So it was good driving by both guys there, and yeah, Pushka now another spot, well, caught up between himself and
Tom Parker goes wide at Degner too, sorry. That's the second time he's done that, and not Tom Parker, Dowie Tapper's, I was saying was all, no, Tom Parker saying no to that. But Dowie Tapper's going to have a little balance. Oh, Gagzella spun! Oh, Gagzella! So what that means then is Franchi jumping to 9th and Tapper into 10th, so he does stay ahead of Parker, interestingly, though Parker, yep, trying to stick it up there, but Parker in P11. All gone wrong for the Gagzella, though. Down to P12, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a real shame for Gagzella. His race has not gone very well. It's
oh, Canton's off! Oh, Canton's off! He lost it at 130R! Oh my goodness me! How on earth could he lose it there? Let's have a look.
Touch the ground.
Oh, wow! How on earth he saved that as well? Did he manage to save that? No. Oh, he glanced the wall. Glanced the wall, did Cantonen. And so that's his wonderful day done and dusted. And now Gaia through on Muscat. So, Gaia into P2. Jason Muscat down to P3. Cantonen surely suffered damage after that glance with the wall in P4. We've got to watch out for Fran Lopez behind. Slowly cruising onto the back of these guys as well. Oh, get your words right, James. Cruising up onto the back of these guys already. It's like 9 of 18 halfway through this race.
Yeah, look at that gap that Tyne's got. If it's not Burlack, it's Tyne instead dominating this race, and Gaia now's got past Muscat. So Muscat's in 3rd, Pushka's in 7th. There's only 3 cars between them, so that's not much points difference between the 2 drivers at all. Of course, the championship will continue if they finish how they are now, but it might not be as close. Is it starting to rain by any chance?
Fran Lopez is gone! Oh my words, how on earth did he save that? Just lost it on the inside of Spoon. I can't see any rain as he saves it once again. I can't see any rain.
It's raining on my screen. I'm seeing drops of rain, and I'm starting to see a little bit of spray as well, so I don't know if it's just a bug or if it's
live races to the rescue, I think, is this one. Let's have a look here. As we head on to lap 10 of 18, by the way, with the leaders. Yes, indeed. No, you're right. It is raining slightly, so perhaps that is what caused Lopez's issues. It's very light rain, only 2% wetness, but it is raining nonetheless.
Yeah, it's really not going to affect him. We'd have to get up to about 18, 19, 20% before we started to see real effects of drivers potentially coming in for their wet weather tyres. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the rain. It's got up to 3% now, but it's not going to be enough. Surely you can still drive around with 3%. Or at least you can in Formula Challenge. I'm not sure about Supercup, it might be a bit different.
It's relatively the same. Menno Cloms has been disposed of. Down to P8 he goes, and the 2 fast men of Burlack and Pushka are up into P7. Oh my word, and P6. Pushka having a real tank slap on the exit of Dane the 1 there. Looking to me like Pushka's the much faster driver though, to be honest. Really keeping Burlack close company. Parker 9th, Tapper 10th, Francis 11th, Gagzella 12th and going wide with the hairpin again. Neiman in 13th, and look who's there in the points once again. Kevin Siggy P14th. Adrian McMullen currently rounding out our points scorers. But as for that gap up at the front, it is still extending. 5 seconds down the gap.
Burlack's gone off at Spoon, and he's dropped the position to Pushka, so Pushka is now up into 6th place as Burlack just ran a little bit wide, and 4% rain now. 4% rain.
Slowly ramping up, isn't it? And as we say that, Gaia has eaten into Tyne's lead by a 10th. But here, we're going on to lap 11 of 18 now. Let's see what the gap between the 2 is. 5 seconds once again, so it seems like Tyne's got a hold on things for now at least.
Yeah, he's just looking a bit nervous, especially going into the first corner there. Had a little bit of a twitch, so perhaps he's noticing the rain. It has dropped back down into 2% now, so it's not raining as hard. It might just be a small passing shower. It should be too much problem if it stays like this. The track is drying out pretty quickly, and the confidence will come back to Tyne when he sees that as well. And that's the last thing you want when you're leading a race, is it to start raining. Wow, Lopez nearly lost it. coming out of all the S's. Yeah, somehow managed to hold on to it and retains 5th place at the moment.
Battle which is keeping my interest at the moment is the battle for P9, 10 and 11. It's Parker v Tapper v Francis. These guys all really talented and really going at it as well. Parker not exactly had the day he wanted after a wonderful round at Abu Dhabi, taking his first win in Super Cup ever. Rounding turn 11, let's get this right. No, turn 12, I was one off, never mind. Heading into Spoon. All going line astern though, really. It seems like there's a lot of battling, but not a lot of position changing at least.
No, it's there's a bit of a buffer between all the drives at the moment. I don't know whether they've all seen the little bit of rain that we've had, which is now passed and gone, or whether they all just got a bit nervous about that and start driving a bit more cautiously. But yeah, Tapper, good effort by him, although he's just gone wide as I say that. And he drops down into 11th now as Francis gets through at the final chicane. So unfortunate for Tapper, drops down into 11th, still in the points, but out of the top 10.
We've had quite a few retirements actually since we last checked. Yuri Ojana, of course, crashing out on lap 4 of 18. Then we have Maurice Bracan, terrible there at the office for Bracan, unfortunately, out on lap 6 along with Ollie Pelkinen. Yanni Vanden out on lap 9 of 18, and Scott Beresford, who's usually known for his wonderful consistency. I say he had a bit of a nightmare at the start. He is now out on lap 11 of 18. Your gap at the front is exactly 5 seconds between Tyen and Gaia. Muscat falling back a bit, P3. Ascari Canton also fallen back a bit, P4. And now he's got Fran Lopez for company, and I think the Spanish driver is much faster at this point in the race. Indeed he is, diving up the inside of the hairpin. I think Cantonen was just saving himself a bit of hassle there. Lopez up to P4.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that about Cantonen, as he is actually starting to look at coming back at Lopez now into Spoon. He's gone up the inside and whoa, there's surely a bit of contact there. Lopez manages to hold on. Cantonen ran a bit wide, and Lopez already pulling to the inside. He doesn't want Cantonen to have a look at the inside of him into 130R. No, he's just weaving across the track. He thinks he can break a slipstream by doing that, but he can't.
Wow! Cantonen up the inside 130R, position retaken. Good stuff from Ascari, breaking time. Yep, he does do that. Lopez mounting the chicane, goodness me.
Touring
now
car
we've got to
driver
wait.
Lopez.
Yeah, indeed, and we've got to wait and see now how this affects the straight line speed. Onto lap 13 of 18 we go. Lopez, look at that straight line speed in the slipstream. Is he going to have a dive through? Oh, that's bold from Lopez, and he's scared Cantonen off the road. I don't blame him. You know, there's sometimes when I think Lopez is an absolutely brilliant driver. There's other time when I just look at him and think, why do that to yourself? You're only risking an accident, and that was really one of them, and I don't blame Cantonen for being scared off the road there, because it was very much a centre move, and don't blame him for being controversial here, but I didn't admire Senna for some of the moves that he pulled off. It was wrong in my opinion, and would clearly be punished in today's environment of clean racing for all.
Yeah, I think everyone's certainly changed, just to point out that you don't really see dive bombs anymore in F1. It's quite rare to see unless maybe Maldonado gets a bit hot-headed. Just to name one driver of, there's certainly a few out there. But yeah, you just don't see the dive bombs in F1 anymore, and I guess it's due to DRS, and the desperation is no longer really there to have to dive bomb another driver. Perhaps that's a good thing, I don't know. But yeah, I think if you look back 10 years, you just get some silly accidents because drivers just stuck their nose in where it wasn't really possible. And I think every driver's guilty of that. And to be fair to Lopez, I thought he had a fairly good shot at Cantonen going into turn 1. He had his nose quite far up the inside of Cantonen. So yeah, maybe a bit bold, but at least he didn't have contact.
And that's a good thing, isn't it? Philip Pushka P6, Burlak P7, Parker P8, Klomp P9. So Parker's overtaken Klomp now again. The Dutchman keeps on falling down the order. Francis P10. Tapper P11, Gagzola P12, Kevin Siggy P13, Harry Noonan P14, Adrian Horton P15. Not really a lot going on now. I think the closest battle really on track is the battle in the midfield where Plont's just been overtaken by Parker. He's lap 14 of 18, so we are near the race end. In fact, to be honest, the closest battle I can see here is P17, Roy Burzell versus Ben Horrell outside the points.
Yeah, certainly close. Another one that could be hotting up though is Fran Lopez. Just drove up to the back
Already?
of Muscat. Yeah, he just set the fastest lap of the race. And he's now right on the gearbox of Muscat. There's probably about half a second between them, but yeah, he's right there. So Lopez could be on for a podium here, and that'd be fantastic for him considering where he started in the very middle of the field.
Yeah, we did. Oh, wow! Carrying so much more speed through the entrance of Spoon there. Crossing himself up. I'm surprised there wasn't contact on the spin or something, but yeah, Lopez clearly the faster driver by a long way. And Muscat's podium drought continues. Lopez straight through already.
That was too easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I couldn't believe that. Lopez has got so much straight line speed, and Muscat just didn't even try defending the position, as Lopez is already thinking about defending right now. Going down the main straight. So Lopez up into third, and what is he, about 2 seconds behind Gaia? Could be possible.
Yeah, roughly.
He could catch him.
15 of 18. 2 laps to go as Clont falls further down the order. And well, here's something. Oh, wow! Clont. Oh, dearie me. You know, there's been some questionable moves by Clont this round. It's not like him. But I mean, this is the guy he brought in to replace himself at Multiforce. Frančić was clearly going to overtake him, and he just clean knocks him off the road.
Oh, yeah, I'm just watching it on the replay.
That's so poor.
I'm struggling to really tell what happened there.
It seemed like they locked wheels, but Clont kept on moving over on my screen anyway.
Yeah.
As old Tapper. What's happened to Tapper? I think he's gone off a Degler 2 potentially. Like so many other drivers. Oh wow, we did a full 360. Classy, but not the fastest way to go around the track, unfortunately. So he's down to P15, now behind Gangzella, Noonan and McNaughton, and just ahead of his teammate Nisa. So a shame for Tapper there, but not happy with Clont. Not happy with him at all.
Yeah, to get just maybe...
Sorry, got another move going on. Apologies for cutting you off, but Pushka is through on the Scary counter and through on 130R once again.
Always gone wide.
And always gone wide though, but to be fair, he already took the position through 130R, so he's got the right to stay ahead. Into P5 he is now, and 1 place behind his championship rival.
Yeah, he could actually extend his championship lead then by the end of this race, because he's certainly got the pace to catch up with Muscat, who's really falling. As Pushka sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's only 2 seconds behind Muscat, so it's certainly on. And I was going to say something, I can't remember what it was.
It was on Clont, perhaps?
Oh yes, on Clont, yeah, just to give him, be on his side a little bit, just not to berate him too much.
To throw the devil's advocate.
Yes, definitely. He did get onto the curve of the outside of turn 2, and that might have just been what swung him back into the path of the other driver. So maybe it wasn't intentional, we don't know, but that's just what I saw on the replay.
How about a comeback for you? Muscat, he wants this podium. He has found something from somewhere, and he is absolutely all over the gearbox of Fran Lopez now. Lap 16 of 17, soon to be lap 17 of 18 with 2 laps to go, but Lopez has not shaken this Maltese driver, and I think it's perfectly within Muscat's capabilities to be able to take a podium here today. Looking right on the back of the Spaniard as we head through 130R into the Cassian Triangle. Can Muscat outbrake around the outside? Oh, too much from Muscat. He's going to have to fall in behind Lopez, unfortunately, as he does. Good man. 2 more laps to do something though. It's perfectly within his reach.
Yeah, he really could have thrown away another position there, and that position would have been to Pushka. I'm sure that's what's woken him up. He's seen Pushka in his wing mirrors, and he's realised how to get on with it now. But yeah, he's definitely got the pace. Lopez is and he's going wide on the outside of turn 2, so Lopez is going to be really under pressure now. But there's no way to pass around here for Muscat. There's no way to really pass unless the car in front makes a mistake when you're right in his gearbox, and then you've got to try and avoid him as well. But look at that. He's holding on to him. The Degner's very fast corners, so Muscat's definitely got no chance. As he comes in, slows down. Can he get a good exit to make a run in the air? But not really. Lopez looked like he got the better exit there. So we'll have to stay behind him for a little bit further. But yeah, Lopez got past Muscat, looked like he was going to go chase down Gaia, and then he's just stopped his charge, stopped his lap times have just dropped off, and I guess just used up too much time.
The last time Lopez took a podium was 2 rounds ago at the Circuit of the Americas. The last time Pushka, who is now on the back of this battle very much so, took a podium was in fact to win the race 2 at Abu Dhabi. The last time Jason Muscat took a podium was all the way back in Austria, and on that race evening he was able to take 2 podiums, a third and a second. He is so close to a podium now, it is unbearable. He's got to hold off Pushka though, and he's got to get past Lopez as well. Final lap of this race. Who will emerge victorious in the battle for the final podium place? Into turn 1 we go now. Lopez taking a nice line through there. Muscat going a bit wider, trying to get a better exit here. And yeah, he's all over the rear wing of Lopez, but here comes Pushka as well. Don't ever count him out. That's the first rule of Super Cup 2014. If Pushka's in a fight, you can bet on him to come out with something.
Yeah, I think he'll be patient here. Oh no, he is looking at Muscat already. So perhaps he wants to try and take Muscat at least, but I thought he'd let Muscat and Lopez battle it out and then pick up any of the pieces that could come his way. But yeah, oh look at this, it's all nose to tail. Is anyone going to take a dive bomb into the hairpin? Nope, they're all going to kind of hold station. Pushka's going to try and get a good exit, but he doesn't at all actually. He actually falls back a little bit compared to himself and Muscat, and Muscat's looking the more likely to overtake at the moment.
Into Spoon, he's not really got any sort of purchase on that position, but Muscat goes slightly wide. Pushka looking up the inside, and all contact between the two on exit. And I fear that for Muscat at least, that is challenge over, as he now got to focus fully on defence for Pushka. Meanwhile, coming around the final corner, Jarl Tyen takes only his 2nd race win, can you believe? It's a Waters win-win as Florian Gaia comes home in P2. Jason Muscat's through though! Jason Muscat's through the Cassier triangle, I can't believe this! Oh yeah, it was a wonderful move. Lopez went wide, and Muscat does take his first podium since Austria. Wonderful move there from Muscat.
What happened to Pushka? Did he cross the line?
Is P4, Pushka P5, Burlak P6, Kansanen down in P7 after all that, Parker P8, Klomp P9, Siki P10, amazingly, Axela 11th, Niemann 12th, Tapper 13th, Francic 14th, and Adrian McNaughton rounds out the point scorers in P15. I'll just go back and see what happened with Pushka there. Why? I mean, he was very quick in leaving the server, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Let's have a look here. So obviously he came up to Lopez, going wide, and oh, he went wide himself as well, to be fair. So he really had to fall in behind Lopez. Muscat essentially gained that position because both of his competitors messed up.
Well, that definitely helped out Muscat there. And he's picked up a couple of points. It's not much, it's not as much as he might have hoped, because Pushka did have a good race in the end. And to be fair to Muscat, he only dropped 2 positions. He lost out to Tyen and Gaia, who were arguably faster anyway, because they were strong in both race 1 and race 2. But surprise of the race for me has got to be Lopez's charge up the field. That's impressive, to go from the midfield almost onto the podium at one point and dropping down to 4th right at the end. So good effort by Lopez.
Let's see, so 16, 7 is basic maths, James, come on, 23. So that's 744. Simcraft is plus 20, plus 28. So another decent day for Simcraft. 689, 697. So here is your situation going into Brazil, ladies and gentlemen. There are only 2 drivers and 2 teams now in with a chance of their respective titles. In the Drivers' Championship, Filip Pushka leads with 439 points. He leads by 35 points. It is all up for grabs going into Interlagos. The team scenario, Adonis Engineering lead on 744 points. Simcraft Racing, though, they have continued their rise up the order. They're closing in on Adonis, and they are 40... Oh, don't mess your maths up now, James. They are 47 points behind Adonis, so it's not an insurmountable amount, but it's certainly a hard amount to traverse. How are we going to find out the answer to who will take both of those titles? Well, you're going to have to tune in 2 weeks' time. And there's going to be a cracking finale, I am sure, but rugged driving, success for Muscat, and Waters Automotive really showing that they are the new force in Super Cup near the end of this season, Sam.
They really are. They've certainly come out of nowhere. Well, not nowhere, to be fair, they've always been good, but they've certainly picked up their game, and well, Peter Burlight coming along as well. He is certainly a guy who knows how to win championships. He's done it countless numbers of times in certain series, and yeah, he's surely won for at least Super Cup, if not Super League, if some team doesn't pick him up as well as for next season. And that will really be the interesting thing. Is I love the off season just to see where everyone goes, and there's certainly going to be quite a few drivers moving around. But of course, this season isn't over yet, and Super Cup is going to be the race to watch in the final round as well, because that is where everything is going to be decided.
Plenty of discussion for 2 weeks' time, I'm sure. Now let's get to a couple of interviews. I think it's worth starting with Jarl Tyen, third pole position in a row, and then an awful start in race 1, really catching a lot of the field out, ultimately coming home in a decent position in P3, just taking the podium away from Gagzilla at the death, and then another race win in race 2, really a lot more simple for you that time around. So yet another really good event for Waters Automotive and yourself.
Oh yes, definitely happy with how the weekend went, or how the race weekend went. Qualifying went to perfection. I PB'd the first lap I went out, and pretty much stayed in the pits for the rest, because I knew I wouldn't beat it. And unluckily, Peter got held up in most of his laps, but he got second in the end. Maybe a little scruffy lap, but I think he would have beat me if he got the clean lap. But for race 1, what a messy start. I was noticing that it was a little downhill, so it was actually rolling up the start. So I was holding down clutch, and I had to shift into second while holding the brake a little bit and full throttle. So it was just a cluster, really. So I messed up the start. I got tapped into turn 1, got tapped in the middle of turn 1 and the exit of turn 1. So I had to cut the entire turn 2 area. And then I spun later. I think it was up 2, spun in the final chicane, down to the 12th. But I put my head down and did some good laps. And then I guess I did a stupid mistake by not switching to the primes. I stayed on the options.
See, that's the thing. We couldn't see it properly.
Yeah, I did the mistake of doing that. So what I had to do was push to the limit, and I was looking at the gaps down to 4th and 5th to see if I could jump them, and it was just so close. But then they started battling, and then I eventually, as soon as I had the gap over them, I pitted again for the primes. Was it 4 laps ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, race 1, I think damage limitation was great for me. Race 2, I finally got the start. I think that's the first time I've ever gained spots of a R Factor race. So that's something new. And really controlled the race from there. It was good.
Positive all round then. So we know that you're going to be doing the final couple of events, I believe, for Woods Racing in Super League. We know obviously you're going to be taking out the season with Waters Automotive, of course, in Super Cup, and I'm pretty sure that you're up into the top 10 now. If you're not, I'll be mightily surprised. We know your aim is to get as high as you can with Waters Automotive, but perhaps you can give us a little bit of insight as to what your aims are for the Japanese Grand Prix tomorrow with Woods.
I'm not actually sure. I'm a little unclear of where we are on the grid compared to the other cars and drivers. but I will definitely look at a top 10 with a Woods car. I think it's good enough for that.
That's bold, and considering Woods' season so far, it will certainly be a good boost to him. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again, Jarl. And we'll see you next time at Interlagos. And then finally, we have Florian Geyer. What a lovely event that was for you. Decent qualifying and 2 P2s. I don't think it could have gone any better for you.
Hello. Yeah, it was a hard event tonight. The qualifying went quite well. I think I was P2 for most of the session until my controller disconnected and I had to stay in the pit. That was a bit unfortunate, but my lap time was my PB anyway, so yeah, P5 or what it was okay. Race 1, yeah, Tom had an unbelievable start, just like Abu Dhabi. It was phenomenal, and in race 2 as well. The guy is great getting off the line, so that's good to see for us. Yeah, the race 1 was a bit very close early on. I think I was behind Tom and someone else. Yeah, and Tom saved my race, to be honest, because if I haven't passed him, I think I would have been finishing down in the midfield somewhere, because it was also close, and this really helped me. Also gotta say thanks to Dave for helping me, for helping us during the race. He's doing a good job giving us the gaps and stuff like that. Yeah, what else? Race 2 was okay. I think I was close with Menno. It was a pretty close battle down the main straight, but okay, I think. Yeah, I had a bit of damage from Emmanuel when we are going through 130R. It was all close. Don't know if you all saw it. I guess so. But anyway, had a bit of damage on the front wing, but all good. Yeah, and from then on I was just trying to get off the guys, and got Jason as well and Oscari. Yeah, it was all good. Twice P2, I can't complain. Yeah, it was all good for us. I think I'm not sure how many points or if you gained points at all on the donors.
Well, I can tell you for sure. Unfortunately, despite your best efforts, you are out of the Drivers' Championship. But in terms of the Teams' Championship, you are behind Adonis going into Interlagos by 47 points. So not an insurmountable gap, but definitely a hard one to gap for sure.
Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing, the driver's title, I didn't believe in it since Canada, because that was the race I set myself to actually make it possible from there on, but yeah, I didn't have the finishes I need, so we concentrated on the constructor's title. Yeah, it's even harder now, just one race to go, or one event, but we won't give up. We give it all we have. Yeah.
Perhaps I can ask you on your aspirations for next year, since we're near that sort of time of the season. Are you looking to move up to Super League next year, or are you still a bit undecided?
Yeah, to be honest, I race in Super League no matter what car. I just want to be part of that. I think it's the highest level in GPVWC, so I want to be part of that. Where that's gonna be, I don't have a clue, but I hope I can sort out something in the future, in the next few months.
It's so lovely to hear something positive about it for a change, to be honest. Well, thank you very much for that, Florian, and well done on your 2 podiums, of course.
Thank you.
So, then, that was an evening of things. We hope that you at least enjoyed the broadcast we could provide, despite the many problems we've had to try and get ourselves through. If you'd like something a little bit more interesting, though, perhaps you'd be interested in tomorrow, the Japanese Grand Prix. I know that Lewis Redshaw was poo-pooing it yesterday in the Formula Challenge broadcast, but there is the important issue of the Super League 2014 Drivers' title to be decided. It could very well be decided tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for them, where hopefully Simon Smith and Matthew Churgwin will be taking you through that. Next Monday, then, the final of the International Touring Cup season, going to Interlagos early. It looks like it's going to be an open battle between the likes of Eric Strana, Ruud Heasterbeek, Augustin Canapino, Toby Davis, and I believe actually no, Adrian Holm's gone, isn't he? So good few drivers in there at least, and definitely THR versus Voltball, the team's championship there to look out for as well. And then final racing week of the main season here at GPVWC in 2 weeks' time. It's all gone so fast, hasn't it? On the Tuesday, Formula Challenge. Still the team's title to be decided there between Walk Racing and Enterprise GP, the final two coming down to that. And then make sure that you join us in 2 weeks' time. You have to join us. 2 titles decided in one evening. Will it be Muscat, or will it be Pushka? Will it be Adonis, or will it be Simcraft? Plenty to talk about, and with all this sort of drive and negotiation going on in the midst of it, Sam, is going to be an exciting couple of weeks for all of us.
It's going to be absolutely incredible, and what a track to finish it on as well. Interlagos, it's not got many turns, and I have to admit it's not the hardest track in the world, but I think that's what makes it so great. It's because it's going to make the racing so close all through each 3 series, and that's really what we've got to look forward to. And it'll be a big send off for all the series for this year, and then it'll be it, and then we'll have to find something to do to wait for all those months until we can start again next year.
Maybe.
But yeah, definitely, it's going to be such a good event, all 3, and I am definitely looking forward to the Super Cup just to see how that all pans out. I wonder if Pushka will start from the back of the grid once again. That'll certainly be interesting when he's trying to go for a title. But yeah, definitely check out all 3 races, check out the race tomorrow as well, check out all the other races next week, because it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, can't wait.
I would just like to take this moment to thank Sam Jones, who has essentially single-handedly put this entire broadcast together. Would not have been broadcast this round without him. He's had a lot on his shoulders, especially as a new guy here as a commentator, so thank you so much for your efforts here today, Sam. I've been James Kirk, and from all of us here once again, it's a very warm goodbye.